Sleep. Activity loved by many, understood by few. Did any of you stopped for a second and wondered what is going on inside our head when we sleep? Why do we sleep? Where do we go to? Do we, or does our mind travel? Let's have a dose of science and find some answers.
When we all fall asleep, where do we go?
Even if it may not seem like it, sleep is a complex process. It is formed by multiple stages, each and every one of them represented by unique features designed to sustain the development of our being. According to Wikipedia, sleep is a naturally recurring state of mind and body. Still, we are aware of our dreams, and we even remember some parts of them. We sleepwalk or sleep talk, but in the same time we remember nothing from inside our mind. Most of it looks like a big black hole. Why is that? There are 5 levels of consciousness during sleep: non-REM 1, non-REM 2, non-REM 3, non-REM 4, and REM. Rapid eye movement sleep, portrayed here in yellow, is a semi-conscious sleep state. Most of our dreaming happens during REM sleep. Scientists believe that outside of REM sleep, there is no state of consciousness. Next comes our non-rapid eye movement sleep, divided into 4 stages. The first 2 stages, highlighted in blue, and the following stages, 3 and 4, highlighted in red. Remember that during this stage of our sleep, we are in a state of unconsciousness. During stages 3 and 4 of the non-REM sleep happens most of the trimming process. Our brain sorts out the information received throughout the day. It also deepens the information labeled as useful. In stages 3 and 4 is harder to wake a person up. So from the moment we fall asleep to the moment of waking up, our state of consciousness alternates between different cycles of sleep occurring around 90 minutes each. In the first half of the night, the majority of our sleeping cycles are happening during profound non-REM sleep and very little REM sleep. But while we enter the second half of the night, this equilibrium of dominance changes. Now REM sleep takes a larger amount of time during our sleeping cycles, and non-REM sleep is shortening in duration. There are actually 4 levels of consciousness: waking conscious, pre-conscious, unconscious, and non-conscious. At this point, you might be confused about the difference between unconscious and unconsciousness. Is there a difference? Yes, the unconscious is a part of your mind that is usually outside your conscious awareness. It operates while you are conscious throughout the day. Unconsciousness is a state of losing all consciousness of yourself and your environment, like when you faint. A new discovery from Tel Aviv University may provide a key to a great scientific enigma. How does the awake brain transform sensory input into a conscious experience? The information was utilized to examine differences between the response of the cerebral cortex to sounds in sleep versus wakefulness at a resolution of single neurons. The researchers were surprised to discover that the brain's response to sound remains powerful during sleep in all parameters but one: the level of alpha-beta waves associated with attention to the auditory input and related expectations. This means that during sleep, the brain analyzes the auditory input but is unable to focus on the sound or identify it, and therefore no conscious awareness ensues. The researchers explain that alpha-beta waves, 10 to 30 hertz, are linked to processes of attention and expectation that are controlled by feedback from higher regions in the brain. Thus, for example, when a certain sound is received in the ear, the higher regions can tell whether it is new or familiar, and whether it deserves attention or not. According to the current study, the strength of alpha-beta waves is the main difference between the brain's response to auditory inputs in states of wakefulness versus sleep. Okay, but how is sleepwalking and sleep-talking explained then? Let's have a look at what Trace Dominguez has to say for D News about this.
Set of 4 stages. One of those is the famous rapid eye movement, where dreaming happens. And during sleep, your brain squirts out 2 paralyzing chemicals, glycine and GABA. These keep your vocal cords and your mouth and your body and your muscles and such paralyzed. Okay, so scientists don't have any idea why some people talk in their sleep. Sleep talking can occur at any time during REM or non-REM sleep, which means it's not necessarily when we voice a dream, it can be any time. Scientists think sometimes people might slip through their own paralyzing net of glycine and GABA and end up voicing what's happening inside their head, called a motor breakthrough. Or maybe it's because of transitory arousal, which is another theory, and that's when we're switching between sleep stages. We might end up talking.
Now, we know that sleep is essential. You can't function or survive without it. During this process, our brains still work on organizing the day's events, filing them into storage for future access. They also catch up on housekeeping, throwing away the accumulated waste and giving yourself a fresh ground for the day ahead. So in the end, where do we go when we sleep? We are far away with our mind, exploring possible realities expressed through dreams.